My name is Sargeant. I'm the founder of Airdropd. We're a media company working in the crypto and compliance space with companies like Chainalysis, Cloudburst. And we're working with companies to create engaging content and help them stand out from a lot of the noise in the crypto sector. I think there's going to be a time of building. I think the companies I've been building over the last 2 years are really going to benefit. We see a lot of speculation around meme coins and other tokenization. But I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of L2 and DeFi projects, especially those built on top of Bitcoin. We've been talking to a lot of the picks and the shovels. We're going to see ordinals. We're going to see a lot more oracles. And we're going to see a lot of people building and staking on Bitcoin, which is something that we normally see on places like Ethereum and Solana. And I think that's going to be what to expect in 2025. I think it's going to give people a lot more options. There's obviously a lot of people that specialize and build on Bitcoin. They only love Bitcoin, and they're not too much enthusiastic about the DeFi space. So this will give them something that they're a lot more comfortable with. And I think it's going to give a lot of more optimization and programmability on Bitcoin, which has been one of the challenges on Bitcoin, is how to scale it and make it more like Ethereum, make it more like a Visa or PayPal. And we're going to see a lot more innovation on Bitcoin. I think a lot of people are thinking a lot more about the presidential election. I don't think Trump is going to save cryptocurrency, and it's not going to save Bitcoin. I think when he came out to Nashville, everyone's thinking that the moves he's going to make is going to do something for the industry, whereas I suspect he's talking to the audience. So when he goes in front of Black professionals, he tells them how he's going to make, more diversity movements on that side. He's speaking to manufacturers. He's going to talk about building back in the US and not going overseas. So I think we're not going to expect much from the Republicans or the Democrats. I think we'll see a lot more here in Canada around the presidentials, around the prime minister, and some of the folks working in the cabinet here. I think we're going to see a lot more regulation. I think the US is going to be very, very slow to the actual game when it comes to regulations. We're seeing jurisdictions like the EU, the EU and Dubai moving very strongly when it comes to digitalization regulations. I think what we're going to see in the US is going to be slow, but they're going to become one of the most comprehensive regulations that we see in the space. And hopefully it's going to bring back more innovation and more companies to come back in the US, where most of the crypto holders are today. I really don't think it's going to have that much of an impact on mass adoption, to be quite honest. I think the companies like BlackRock and Fidelity, those companies are going to get richer. But I think across the entire ecosystem, most of the builders are not going to see the impact of it. We've seen the Bitcoin ETFs cause a little bit of a rise in prices, but nothing substantial or nothing sustainable. I think what's going to lead to mass adoption is more people actually touching the actual underlying asset, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, actually using a MetaMask wallet. I think that's what's going to lead to mass adoption, not ETFs. ETFs does not bring, right now, traditional ETFs doesn't cause more people to get into the financial ecosystem. We still see so many people unbanked or underbanked around the world, especially the US. So I don't think Bitcoin ETFs or spot ETFs solves that problem, but it gets the richer companies to stay richer, in my opinion. I think it's going to be just other financial products. I think there's a lot of institutions that wanted to touch Bitcoin, they wanted to touch Ethereum, but they never had the compliance requirements to do so. That's why they never got into DeFi. I think we're finally now giving a financial product that people can actually touch and use. And that with Bitcoin, I think more people want to touch it. They don't want to be responsible for it. As much as we wanted Bitcoin and cryptocurrency to be our own bank, most people want that customer service number to call when they lose, when somebody hacks their credit card. And I think more importantly, it's going to give a framework for people to actually access Bitcoin, even though it's not touching the underlying asset as much. I think it's stablecoins. 2/3 of all crypto transactions are stablecoins. Places in emerging countries like Africa need stablecoins because they have such a deflationary monetary value. Their fiat currency is going down, and the only way they can get payments or make payments to possible vendors is through stablecoins. We're seeing a lot more like BVNK creating stablecoin infrastructures. So companies can now spin up their own stablecoins and issue it to their customers. I think the future of payments is always going to be around stablecoins. I think CBDCs and retail CBDCs are not the future of Bitcoin, and we're not going to see as much of it. Stablecoin regulation in Canada is going to be huge. We see a lot of the organizations here, a Canadian Blockchain Consortium, the Web3 Association, fighting to get fair stablecoin regulation here so companies can actually innovate and utilize these payment networks. I think it's an uphill battle in Canada, always around regulation. We're, I think, very conservative here in Canada, so we're not going to see them open it up like they have in the EU and other jurisdictions. I think TradFi is always going to look for places to make money, and they're going to do whatever their customers are demanding of them. Customers want access to alternative investments, especially when we see a lot of the traditional financial products go down in value, stocks, stock exchanges, then those traditional products go down in value over the last 3 years. So I think alternative investments is a little bit more exciting. Nobody wants to be holding boring stocks or bonds like they used to. I think people want to show that they're part of a community that's thriving and a lot more fun. So we're going to see a lot more TradFi companies, whether they wanted to or not, get involved in cryptocurrency because their customers demand it, and they'll go other places if their banking institution is not there to offer it. I think we're going to see a lot on layer 2. So there's a lot of companies building layer 2s on top of Ethereum, and they're going into specific use cases. Ethereum's really great for general purposes, but if you want to run an online casino, that kind of infrastructure is not that great. And that's why you're seeing L2s built specifically for things like betting or gambling or decentralized exchanges. So I think we're going to see a big move into the DeFi space, and not as much as we think in other spaces. I think companies, especially in the crypto, have to start thinking a lot more about organic content. We see at a conference like this, a lot of people are buying boosts, and that's amazing. But how do you create this experience and keep it living until the next conference comes around? I think content, just like what you're doing here with WonderFi, is going to be the key to building long-lasting relationships. But more importantly, putting out engaging content over this course until the next conference so people remember it, right? Conferences only last 2 or 3 days. So companies should be recording as much content, as much interviews as possible, and releasing that throughout the year to get people excited the next time they come to the conference.